Okay, here on the Rich Van Tassel channel, today is Thursday, December 10th, 2015. We're giving you Thursday Night Football breakdown. The Minnesota Vikings travel to Arizona to play the Cardinals. The Vikings are 8-4. The Arizona Cardinals are 10-2. First, the injuries for the visiting Vikings. Four listed as out, all on the defensive side of the ball. Anthony Barr, their linebacker. Harrison Smith, their safety. Linval Joseph, their defensive tackle. And Andrew Sandejo, another safety. Robert Blanton, a third safety, is listed as questionable. For the Cardinals, John Brown, wide receiver. Stephon Taylor, a running back, are probable. Jermaine Gresham, tight end, doubtful. Rashad Johnson, safety, probable. Gerard Powers, cornerback, is out. Now, this is a very big game for both teams. Minnesota trying to keep pace with the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North. Arizona, while they do have a 3-game lead over the Seattle Seahawks right now, this game is actually very big for them. If Arizona loses tonight, that means that they would have to win 2 out of their final 3 games to get above 11 wins, which would ensure them the division because Seattle could win out and get to 11 wins. Now, one of those games is against the Seahawks, the last game of the season. Another is against the Green Bay Packers at home, and the third would be the Philadelphia Eagles. So, when you look at it, if both teams finish 11-5, the Seattle Seahawks are going to win this division, and I certainly think Seattle can win out. So, a big game for Arizona. You don't want to give any of them away, and if they win this game, they're really going to be very difficult to beat in that division. It would mean just one win or a Seattle loss along the way the rest of the way. But if they lose this game, it really does open the door a lot more than it would seem to the Green Bay Packers. Now, for the Minnesota Vikings, that would open the door more for the Seattle Seahawks if Arizona were to lose. Now, for the Minnesota Vikings at 8-4, they have the same record as the Green Bay Packers. Have already lost to the Packers once. So they have to get it together and find a way to win this game. And it's going to be very difficult looking at the injuries to the defensive side of the ball. 2 safeties out, 1 listed as questionable. Anthony Barr, their best linebacker and probably the best player on their defense, is out. And Linval Joseph providing pressure up the middle on Carson Palmer, a guy who likes to stand in the pocket. And if you're not getting pressure up the middle, he can always step up and pick you apart. So those are big injuries. I expect Adrian Peterson to carry the ball a lot today. Patrick Peterson on the other side at cornerback for the Cardinals is going to shut down the pedestrian wide receivers that Minnesota already has. So I don't expect Teddy Bridgewater to throw much. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't even have 10 touchdowns yet this season. He's got 8 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, and he's under 2,500 yards. So expect a heavy dose of Adrian Peterson tonight, and I think that's the only way that the Minnesota Vikings are going to stay competitive. Because of how big of a game it is for both teams, I expect it to be very close. I would say right now it probably does still mean more to the Minnesota Vikings, but again, don't think that this division in the NFC West is by any means over. Like we just discussed before, a loss by Arizona, and it suddenly becomes very interesting for that NFC West title. But still, Minnesota is tied record-wise with the Green Bay Packers. And Arizona has a 3-game lead, so it means a lot more to Minnesota. And I think even under man, they're going to come in and play well. But Arizona is just too good. They're playing at home, and the defensive injuries to the Minnesota Vikings are going to prevent them from getting the win. And I like it to be 28-21 in favor of the Arizona Cardinals to get the win tonight. All right, so there is your game breakdown for tonight's game between the Vikings and the Cardinals. 28-21 in favor of the Cardinals. Tomorrow we will be on the radio again. 90.5 HD3 Brookdale Student Radio, so be sure to stay tuned for that. We'll give you a recap of this game and then the remaining picks for the Sunday games of Week 14 now of the NFL season. So thank you very much and stay tuned for that.